Welcome to Unexceptional Moms Podcast Episode 10. I'm Erin Lorraine.
And I'm Ellen Stumbo. And
go ahead.
We are going to talk about Christmas toys and our Christmas list of ideas for kids with special needs. Mm-hmm. Which Erin is like the queen of
finding, fun.
Yes, the best things. And what's really interesting is that although we have kids with the same disabilities, our kids are really different.
Yes.
So buying for them is really different. My girls are really typical kids. So they're all of them, even my kids with special needs, that if I just give them a catalog, they will circle the toys that they want. Mm-hmm. But that's not the case for a lot of kids with disabilities.
Right.
So, how Erin and I had decided to do this is that she said, I'll come up with my list and then I'll come up with my list. And it was even interesting to see how different our lists looked, based on our kids, really. I think it's a reflection of our kids and what we see. So what we decided to do is that I'll share what I have, and then she's going to share what she has, which is really cool. Does that sound good?
Yeah. Go.
Okay. So I'll go. And just so you know, because my kids are so typical, if it was up to my youngest daughter who has Down syndrome, she would get 10 Barbies for Christmas. And I do not want her to get 10 Barbies for Christmas. She can get one. So then I have to be creative and find things that she would enjoy. And I am someone who likes to find a lot of educational toys or things that are going to push her in areas where I feel like she needs some extra help for development. So things that we have done for Christmas before. I am a huge fan of the preschool prep curriculum. And Erin, have you ever seen preschool prep?
Absolutely. We have them.
You do?
Yes.
So we got that for Christmas. And preschool prep really shows the ABCs. It shows the sounds of every letter. It teaches numbers. It teaches shapes. It teaches colors.
Sight words even.
Yes, it teaches sight words. It teaches blends of letters. Mm-hmm. And I saw that they just now came up with some simple math concepts.
Oh, interesting.
So they keep adding. And these are videos. So it's mainly videos. They do have apps. So after the kids watch the videos, there's games for apps that teach that. So I am a huge fan of preschool prep. And really the reason that I was looking into this again for Christmas is because they have simple math facts. And I figured Nicole, who's just not really getting math, maybe she just needs to learn them that way. So that's one of them. Another thing that I'm huge on, which people might think it's boring, but it's reading programs. Because, I know, again, right? Because I have a 9-year-old with Down syndrome that does not care to read. And we've been trying so many different things. So we are using we've used the learning program. And actually the Down syndrome education, they have a curriculum. They have math curriculum and learning curriculum, reading curriculum specific for kids with Down syndrome. So we're going to be using that. And we've been using some of it a little bit, but it's good for any kid, not just for kids with Down syndrome. It's really the way that he teaches. It's good for any kid that has an intellectual disability, really. So I love their curriculum, and I think that's a great idea for a Christmas present, which I have to say my daughter loves it because she doesn't go through it. Her dolls go through it. So when it's time for us to work on it, yes, I will come and say, hey, it's time for the dolls to do their reading. And then she'll choose. So like tonight she chose Elsa and Anna, and we couldn't find Elsa. So she stuck with Anna. So Anna read, and we introduced 10 new words, and we looked at them and we looked at the pictures. So that's that. And the other thing that I'm a huge fan of is Melissa and Doug, because they have really quality toys that I feel like are really good for learning, and they're fun and they're games. So my favorite ones are puzzles. They have really good puzzles. Mm-hmm. I also love their pattern blocks. They're really good for learning spatial awareness and how things fit together, which works with math and stuff like that. And I love their letter puzzles, and they have like words. So they will have the word cat, and it's cut out for the letter C-A-T, and then the kids have to find each letter and put it on. And I don't know if you've seen those before.
Oh, yes, I have. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, but here's the other thing, and we're going to have links to that.
Yeah.
If you go on Melissa and Doug, they have an entire section for special needs. And in that, they have different labels or categories, I guess, where you can go. So they have toys that are good for cognitive skills. They have toys that are good for fine motor skills. Toys that are good for gross motor skills. They have toys for life skills, which is like play, imagination play. They have stuff for picky eaters. And really, it's like the toys that a lot of people have seen that they have like the Velcro toys, and then you can cut them, or they have like the pizzas that you can create, which are really good for fine motor skills as well. They have toys for sensory awareness. They have toys for social and emotional development, and they have toys for speech and language development. So I am a huge fan of Melissa and Doug, and that is my list, and that's what I had.
I'd say Melissa and Doug too is just such good quality stuff. It's going to last you forever.
It is for a really long time. And so my girls really do like it, and they enjoy puzzles. And I have found out for me, when there's anything learning, is that I turn it into a game.
Yes.
The same thing for reading, that my daughter doesn't read, her dolls read. And then after we read, then they get to do a game where I will have, maybe 4 words, and I will say, show me blocks. And the doll has to show me which one says blocks, that kind of stuff. Right. But even like with Doug and Melissa, there are some real toys in there that you can use for that. So with that, I'm going to let you go through your list, Erin, and I will interrupt you as I see fit.
Please do.
Yes.
And my list looks very different. My kids are not typical when it comes to play. Both of them were raised in an orphanage. They didn't have many opportunities for play, and they don't play. It's a learned skill. They're much better now than they were back when they first came home. And we do have some things they play with, but they're very specific and they stick to those things. If I put a puzzle in front of my girls, Anya would do it a little more. Oksana despises puzzles because of the fine motor skills it takes. It's so frustrating for her. So we have to get more creative with her for her fine motor skills, for gross motor skills, for all those things. So when we think Christmas, we don't go to the toy catalog. I have given my girls toy catalogs because they're fun to look at, but they don't pick anything out. They don't see anything they would want to play with. Anya doesn't even really have that concept of picking out a toy. She'll see Elsa and get excited. We've had 8 million Elsa dolls. As long as they sing and play music, she's a happy girl. Okay, so one of my favorite websites is Hearthsong because they have some very unique toys. So some of the things my girls are getting this year or have in the past. They have some really neat, it's actually under room decor, but some neat things that, so one of the things they're getting this year, it hangs from the ceiling and it sort of looks like a jellyfish, and then it has drapes that come down onto the floor. I'm describing this, but you're just going to have to go hit the link that I did. And then there's these lights hanging down. And so it's sensory. It's a hideaway. I'm debating putting it in their sensory room and not in their bedrooms, but they love that kind of thing.
Which I should say that sensory room was a Christmas present for them.
Well, I'm going to get to that.
3 years. Okay, go. Okay.
The other thing I'm doing with Hearthsong this year is a kaleidoscope ball. It is a enormous blow-up ball, and you can actually get in it. And it's got these little kind of octagon shapes on it, and some of them are see-through, and they have like almost glittery stuff that rolls in them when the ball rolls, and they also have LED lights in them. I mean, come on. My girls are going to die over that. And then they have a lot of really neat swings and outdoor play stuff that is great Christmas presents for kids who are active, who need their sensory needs met. I just really like Hearthsong. So Ellen was saying 1 year for Christmas, I was just really stumped what to do for the girls. And I had a little extra space in my basement. So I asked every family member to pitch in, and we created a sensory room for the girls. So I had a bit more money to work with here because my mom put in, my mother-in-law put in, anyone pretty much who gave to them put money into this. And so I listed some of the things that I got for their sensory room. Swings, of course. The Lycra swing we have is a favorite, honestly, and not just for the girls, everyone in our house. You will probably find Evan in it more than anyone. He absolutely loves it. So I put a link to the one that I bought.
And I have to say, we got that Lycra swing for our church when we created our sensory room. And that was recommended by you. And that Lycra swing was a favorite.
Yes.
Everybody loves it. I even got in it once.
I know. It's so comfortable.
Of course I would want to be here.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's a great, I think about kids who have limited mobility, kids that, maybe can't even manipulate things with their hands. So what do you get? Man, a Lycra swing.
Oh, yeah.
It's phenomenal.
It is. So we have a number of things in there, and I didn't put them all on the list. We have a crash pad that I did put on the list, and we got that through eSpecial Needs, which is another one of my favorite websites for special needs and sensory things. And so I put a link to the crash pad, and so it's just this big filled pillow almost stuff, and the girls can lay on it and jump on it. We put a lot of sensory toys in there, and I linked a few of them, different squishy balls and soft things, and a pillow that vibrates, and all that kind of stuff. So we just kind of put all our money in and built a sensory room for the girls. It's been a huge hit. All right, let me see what else I have here. Etsy. I also love Etsy. So this is where people make things that they sell. I actually got my platform swing for the sensory room on Etsy, but she's not selling them anymore. And it's such a great swing. I'm really bummed. But if you search special needs or sensory in Etsy, there are people everywhere building and creating things that are really fun and unique for our kids. So that's a great place. I use Etsy a lot for the little things that they are specific to. So last year, Anya really loved Mary Poppins. And so I found a little glitter shirt that says supercalifragilisticexpialidocious on it on Etsy. I love Etsy. Okay. So then next I have Lycra items. So the swing is one thing, but Lycra in general is great for sensory kids. One of my favorite things, and I'm going to be honest with you, my girls don't still use this. It was good for a while, and they're kind of done with it now. However, my 14-year-old typical child still uses one. He loved the girls so much that he asked for one of his own, and it is a Lycra sheet.
Yes.
So it goes on the bed, and imagine it like a sock. It pulls over the mattress like a sock, and then you get in it, and it puts pressure on your body while you sleep. And it's kind of hard to explain, but I put a link on there. And I think I did use Etsy. There's some people selling them on Etsy. So,
which is also something that you got us to use because we bought one for Nicole.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
So it was good for Oksana, the deep pressure. However, as her physical needs got more difficult, it got hard for her to get out of it, and that became a problem. And Anya just didn't love it. My 14-year-old typical kid still has one on his bed. He loves it. Mm-hmm. Also a body sock. Your whole body goes in it. And again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're going to have to go hit the link. But you can push against it, and it puts pressure against you. That's made out of Lycra. Also, there's a stretchy band that imagine like a big circle, almost a band that you can get in. And again, when you push against it, it puts pressure on you. You know what I didn't put in here? Did I? No, I didn't. There's also Lycra tunnels that you can climb through the tunnel. Mm-hmm. Okay. There is a Facebook group called A Very Special Needs Christmas. And this time of year, it's very active. So the woman who runs it will put up a post that says, "Dear Santa, I have vision problems and I love things that light up and make music." And then she'll put a link to a toy that she suggests. And sometimes parents come on and say, "Hey, I've got this kid who has this and this and this. Does anyone have a suggestion?" Or, "We got this and we love it. You know, I wanted to let you know."
Mm-hmm.
It's a neat group. Discovery Putty. I was talking about the fine motor skills for a kid who can't stand to do a puzzle because it's so frustrating. Mm-hmm. So if you've had a kid in OT, they use this stuff called Theraputty. and it's a putty, but it's pretty thick and you have to really work it. It's great for hand muscles. But Discovery Putty has little hidden items in it, and you actually have to dig them out of the putty. And each little can of putty has a theme, and so the little items in it all follow that theme. It's fun. Okay, one more. Magnetiles. They are a building thing. If you have a kid who likes Legos, likes to build, or who likes Legos but struggles to put them together, magnetiles are squares and triangles that they have magnets on each of the edges and they stick together. It is the most played with toy in my house of all time.
Really?
Anya could care less. Oksana went through a phase. However, my typical boys played with them more than any other toy we've ever owned. They have been garages for their cars. They have been everything you can imagine. It is the best toy we've ever bought for our boys, without a doubt. And so, the girls, they don't care that much, but for a boy who loves to build, they are fantastic.
And as I'm thinking about just throwing out a ball pit, creating a ball pit is really, really great. And you can actually buy like those inflatable, like a pirate ship or an inflatable princess castle and just fill it up with balls. And that's a great sensory toy as well. I mean, we had a huge ball pit at the church for our sensory room, and we had the kids with disabilities that had mobility issues that really couldn't do a lot. We would take them out of their, wheelchairs, and we would put them in the ball pit, and they loved it. And we would actually move the balls around them, and just the sensory was so great for them. So,
have you seen those tents and stuff that they actually are kind of fold up and then they pop up?
Yes.
Right. We used to put balls in those because it kept them contained, because some people do like a swimming pool, even like a kiddie pool.
Yes.
And balls are everywhere, So when we had them in the tent, they were a little more contained. And that was great too.
Yes. So we will add that. So those are our recommendations. That's why this is a mini episode today. And what we're going to do is, for the freebie, we're going to have the list of everything that we talked about. So you can go and look at it. Yes. Yeah. So when you get the freebie, every item is going to have a link to what it goes towards. And that is ellensemble.com/episode 10. That's the number 10. And again, scroll down to the bright orange button, and it's going to be right there so you can get your freebie. So anything else?
Happy shopping.
Happy shopping.
I'm really excited for Cyber Monday because I'm waiting for those deals.
Yes. And really everything that we're going to have is probably something that is going to have a Cyber Monday.
Probably.
Sale of some sort. So if you keep your eyes open for that, hopefully there's going to be good deals. I know Melissa and Doc Toys are everywhere. So
you can
that's something that you can find at stores if you go looking for that. So we're going to have links to that. And again, we're just going to resume a regular podcast for the following week. And it will be marriage. And if you wanted to send some questions or any thoughts, because we know that marriage and parenting kids with disabilities, it can be really tough. So you can send us questions, Ellen at ellensemble.com, or through my Facebook page, or even on my blog. And just right at the bottom, please don't publish it. It's confidential because I have to approve every comment, so I can just read it, delete it, and I make sure that Erin gets those as well so we can talk about it.
And again, we will not use your name.
No, we won't be using names. So any questions or comments that you have, and just to point out that Erin and her husband Larry worked for Family Life as missionaries, really for marriage. I mean, it's marriage ministry. So it'll be really exciting, and we're hoping that we can get our husbands involved in that podcast. We'll see. Right. So thanks for joining us, and happy shopping.
Yeah, have fun.